Hello, everyone. Welcome to Reddit Reacts, where real humans read and react to Reddit content. Today's Ask Reddit question is, how did you figure out what you want to do with your life? I picked this question because I know it's something that most of us struggle with, and a lot of you listening might actually think that there is no answer. I've heard that argument tons of times. I've heard people be like, oh no, we're here to live a meaningless existence. It's so pessimistic, really sad. Let's see what the first response is. This is by Good Luck Let's Fuck. I started in engineering, was pretty successful in school, realized I was getting miserable. Sat down one day and thought, what the is the opposite of this? And chose nursing. Nursing is the Okay, so this person switched their careers and like that. That's pretty interesting. I definitely, a lot of people do find that they did what they were told their whole lives, and they did everything they were told they were supposed to, but because they didn't choose to do things that they like and enjoy, they're not happy with what they're doing, and they don't feel like it's meaningful, even if they end up in big jobs. That is common. So normally the secret sauce, so to speak, is just like focus on things you enjoy. I know that sounds simple, but like you have to actually value your time and value the things you enjoy. If you do that, eventually your life will come to reflect those things that you value. But if you don't value your own time and you don't value the things you enjoy, then that's going to be a problem. This helps a lot. People often don't know what they like, but they will have very strong opinions on what they don't like. So it might be easier to start there. This also helps when deciding where or what to eat for dinner. Instead of asking, what do we want for dinner, you ask, what do we not want? That is I totally agree with that. Tons of people, myself included, are hesitant or unsure of what to say if we're just asked a question like, where do you want to go? But it's very easy to know instantly where I don't want to go. Whatever food I ate a bunch of, whatever other food I don't like. And that's a starting point. It's much easier to start with things you don't like than it is to start with things you do like, because people have an easier time admitting things they don't like than things they do like, for some reason. I don't know why that is. Seriously, Kanye West is one of the most misjudged persons ever. He might be an asshole, but all albums except one have been top notch. I don't know. Kanye West is more than an asshole. I went to college for a year. I hated it. Joined the Navy, worked on a submarine for 5 years. Hated it. Got out of the Navy. Now I'm back in school at 24. I still don't know what I want to do, but I know some of the things I don't want to do. My brother died of a heroin overdose when he was 19 in 2011. After seeing what my family went through, I decided to go to school to become a substance abuse counselor. Hey, that sounds like you'd make an actual, real, solid substance abuse counselor. A lot of those, proper, good counselors have firsthand experience themselves or through other people. Usually you need some kind of experience to really understand a problem. This post by Dave K. My dad said this to me. Close your eyes and imagine you are working 80 to 90 hours Monday through Friday. You have to work your ass off at this job week after week. Now imagine after the 90th hour of work this particular week, you're leaving. You get in your car. You feel the weight all in your feet. You smoke your last cigarette on the way home. You take off your shoes and jacket. Set your bag or keys down and sit in your chair. Maybe you crack open a beer, play some games, smoke a bowl, go out to see your friends or whatever. You've just worked 90 hours that week, and finally you are relaxing and all that stress is leaking out as you unwind. Now your phone rings. It's work. They need you to come back in. So, what's the job that would make you answer that call? Fuck that! No, I see that dad's trying to be like, what do you care enough about off that you could work 90 hours doing it all week and be okay? Screw that. There's nothing aside from your own family or other humans that you care deeply about that is worth 80 to 90 hours of your time. Nothing. 80 to 90 hours is so much time that you can change so many things. That's a horrible way to live your life. Like, you shouldn't be like, what job would be so cool? I would love it so much that I could work 80, 90 hours a week and not have an actual life. Fuck that. Don't think that way. Seriously, don't think that way. This is bad advice. This guy's dad gave him bad advice that goes with the whole work your ass off your whole life so that you die and regret not spending more time with your family and shit. Screw that. It's not a good way to live. You have to figure out, what do you do and you lose track of time? Okay? Ask yourself that. When do you lose track of time in your life? And what things? And pay attention. And when it happens and it's related to something like kind of related to a skill or a job, think about that. Pay attention. Work on it. Do it more. You change your life by doing something every day, not by working 12 hours every day. 12 hours every day means you're a slave. You don't have your own life if you're working for 12 hours every day. Maybe you're telling yourself that means, oh, I'm going to be able to do things in the future. But you should understand that a lot of people tell that to themselves their entire lives, and then they find that they're 60 and they retire, and then they can't enjoy things the way they could when they were 20 or 30, and they spent their whole lives working instead of taking advantage of the life while they have it. Like, come on, don't be an idiot. Don't do dumb shit just because you're surrounded by people doing the same dumb shit. Be more creative. Don't be a sheep. For me, at least at this stage in my life, the important factor is who is making the phone call. If I work with people I like and care about, then I would answer the phone. Ugh, fucking genius. Even if 90 hours is an exaggerated amount for some, this is how I put that into perspective. I'm glad that I imagined the job I'm currently going after, and this did not change my mind. I don't know, that doesn't make sense though. Like, for people who are lost and don't know themselves, there's not they don't know. They don't know what they feel that strongly about that they could work that much for. And that's why they're in the problem, because they don't know. So asking them, oh, imagine a situation where you're not angry at your job for doing that. Well, you'd have to know what you care about in order to feel that way. And that isn't a good way to help people who actually are trying to figure out what they like. That isn't a good way to have them figure out. It's just something that is convenient to people who already know what they want, because they'll be like, oh yeah, I want to be a doctor. And if I think about being a doctor, oh yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. But he already fucking knew he was going to be a doctor, you know? Keep that shit in mind, guys. I don't like these comments. They're not useful for people who don't know what they like. Because the secret, if you can call it a secret, there's one direct answer. If you don't know what your passion is, if you don't know what you enjoy in life, if you don't know what you want to do, then guess what you have to do? You've forgotten, because actually when you were a child, there were things you were interested in that you've forgotten about. And what you need to do is make a list of everything you remember doing when you were a kid. Every book you read, every movie you saw, every TV show you remembered watching, every cartoon, every toy you played with. You need to remember as much of it as you can. And then you need to revisit every single one of those things. And I guarantee you that if you do that, you will find out what you're good at. You have to reconnect with your child. The people who know what they're good at, they didn't lose the connection with their inner child. That's how they have the interest. If you feel like you don't have an interest or you don't have passions, that means that you've severed your connection with your child. And your child is with you until you die. So don't believe that bullshit that, oh, you grow up, I can't experience joy anymore, I'm an adult. Fuck that. You can experience levels of joy way past what even children can feel. But you have to believe that that's even possible for it to start. I read an article that said software engineering was the best paid job for the pay to stress ratio. And off I went. That's funny. And this is why I'm studying software engineering as we speak. I'm in my mandatory C++ class now that I covered on my own a while ago. Software engineering is really in demand. It's definitely true. And it's like a trend now, if you're in a really fancy software engineering job, that you get spoiled and treated really well, and it's pretty crazy. I love Reddit's anti-STEM circle jerk. I get to sit here making lots of money right out of school and watch art majors complain about how much money they don't have while trying to justify to themselves that STEM isn't that great. Oh, look here, it's some other asshole who's just bitching about other people bitching and saying stuff about how he feels better than other people. But really, he's saying, oh, I love it when people complain about these majors. Meanwhile, I have this major and I'm making loads of money and art majors make nothing. Like, people are so ridiculous. They're always playing. Oh, I love it when I make a comment and then I read the next one and it says the same shit, right? This guy in response to that said, Reddit has an anti-STEM circle jerk? All I ever see is STEM people bitching about other people bitching about them, which is what the guy had just done. It's so funny. Next response to how did you figure out what you want to do with your life? You know what? I am 25 and I'm still trying to figure that out. People say to me all the time that it is okay because I am still young. Well, guess what? I don't feel young, and I feel like a dumbass not even having a career and shit sorted out. I am on the brink of either becoming a champion of the people or a villain of the utmost evilness. So, regarding the original question here, like if you want to figure out what you want to do with your life, you really do have to look into your childhood to understand that better. That really is a secret, because no matter who you are, you had a childhood, and even if it got effed up, you still had childhood. So if you don't believe me, let me share a personal story with you, okay? So my dad died when I was 11 or 12, right? Really young. And that interrupted my childhood. I found by the time I was 16, 17, I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do, didn't have a clue about myself, and the whole world was like, oh, you need to go spend like $100,000, maybe $200,000 and go get a college degree, cause yeah, do that. And I was like, I don't want to do this. This seems like a dumb idea. I'm just gonna not. And that worked out very well, because now all my friends owe fuckloads of jobs. The country's all screwed because barely anyone has a job compared to previous generations. Like, we US people now have way less work available to them than they did before. Like, you're worse off now than your parents were job-wise if you live in the USA, which is weird. That sounds very counterintuitive. So what you're being taught about the world, you're being taught to succeed in a world that doesn't exist anymore. So you have to be understanding with your parents and older individuals, because they're trying to do what's best for you in their world, but they don't understand that their world is dead and there's a new world. And in the new world, it's all about influence and networking and being in business. If you can do these things, you can have whatever you want in life, no matter where you live in the world. And anything that leads you to communicating and talking more with people who don't complain about life and they view problems as things that they can solve. If you can do these things, and if you can even just talk to people like that, you'll figure out what you need to do with your life. And for me, I like I said, I was lost, totally lost. And then I started doing that strategy of revisiting my childhood. So I made a list of all the things I remembered about my childhood. There were like the Pokemon VHS movies and the TV show, the very first one. There were all these video games for the Nintendo 64, specifically Jet Force Gemini, which is a game I never beat. So what I did was like, wow, I always wanted to beat that video game. I'm going to go get that video game. So I went out and I got that video game. And then there were a bunch of other games with it. And then I was like, whoa, that was fun. I liked buying that Nintendo. I'm going to buy some more Nintendos. And then I bought some more and I bought some more. And then I started selling them. And then I started getting more and selling on the side. And then I started doing e-commerce. And then I started making YouTube videos. And then I ran a YouTube channel and I started earning money from YouTube. And then I made a course. And all of that led to me being a self-employed person who lives in a country where I only need $400 a month to live. And I get to do anything I want. And guess what it all boiled down to? I was frustrated with my life. I was sad. I was unhappy. I felt like I didn't have meaning. And I revisited my childhood by going out and buying a Nintendo 64. That simple action of trying to obtain a video game and beat it that I had played as a kid so that I could reconnect with myself, that led to everything else happening. That was the butterfly effect, the snowball that rolled down the hill and gave me self-employment. So think about that. That's usually how life works. People paint a picture like, oh, people know exactly what they want, and then they work hard all day, and then they get shit done, and then they get what they want. Yeah, that's only how, like, maybe a percentage of humans actually accomplishes anything. Most of us who get what we want, we don't actually know what we're doing a lot of the time. We just can wing it. We make it work, and we learn to sound confident, and you don't have to know exactly how things are going to work out. You just have to tell yourself they're going to work out. And guess what? You figure it out. You can do it. I believe in you. You guys will figure out what you want to do with your life. And the easiest way for you to do that is by revisiting your childhood and rewatching the shows you watched, rereading the books you read that you loved as a kid. Reinvigorating all of your connections to some of the first experiences you had as a human. I guarantee you will find out what makes you tick and what you want out of life and what you enjoy and what makes other people different from you and what makes you different. You're going to find all that out by trying to revisit as many things as possible that you can remember from your childhood. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. If you want to make this kind of content where you read and react to Reddit posts while recording your screen to run a YouTube channel this way, please reach out to us. We are looking for individuals who are interested in this, and we want to have a Zoom call with you and work on this software together. So if you want to do that, go to our About page on our YouTube channel, click on the contact information link, do the CAPTCHA code, send us an email saying hello. And we would love to set up a Zoom call with you. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Ciao.